It was supposed to be a heartwarming moment, but it turned into pressure. It was supposed to be a warm embrace from comrades in arms, but instead it became the coldness of sharp glare and piercing whispers from fellow soldiers. What really happened behind Jungkook's recent return to his military camp? What is the real reason that the K-pop superstar actually looks lethargic, even reluctant to blend in as usual? The world seemed to pause for a moment when this news broke out from behind the soundproof walls of the South Korean military. Jungkook, BTS's golden meanie, known for being cheerful, humble, and quick to adapt, reportedly experienced psychological distress and feelings of intimidation after returning to his military camp after an alleged private visit to visit his family. But instead of returning with renewed vigor, Jungkook showed a completely unusual expression, full of worry, full of anxiety. Sources said he was seen avoiding interactions, even looking down several times while in public areas with his military colleagues. Something has changed about Jungkook since he returned from his personal leave, a source familiar with the matter said. Usually he is warm, often jokes, but now it's like walking on broken glass. Every move seems to be monitored. He rarely even smiled. Suddenly, this news triggered an uproar among ARMY, BTS's global fan base, which is known to be loyal and protective of its members. The hashtag #ProtectJungkook immediately dominated the trending topic on various social media platforms, accompanied by a series of questions. Is Jungkook being bullied? Who intimidated him? Why would a world superstar feel unsafe in his military environment? Those questions have yet to find definitive answers, but speculation after speculation has sprung up, taking the story to a darker and more dramatic level. According to some military observers interviewed by local media, such a phenomenon can happen when a public figure, especially a global one like Jungkook, enters a uniform environment that upholds equality. In the South Korean military system, no matter how big a name someone is out there, all soldiers are treated the same. But can all soldiers really view Jungkook as the same? Or is there precisely jealousy, envy, even dislike for his too radiant existence? You just imagine, in one room you're with a guy whose face is plastered in Times Square, his voice fills your Spotify every day, and while on leave, he can live in a penthouse worth billions of won, said a Korean pop culture analyst who actively observes the dynamics of idols in the military. It doesn't always make you want to be friends. Sometimes, it just makes you want to drop it. Some feel they have to show that they are more powerful in the military environment. Then verbal bullying, even nonverbal, can happen. This is what Jungkook is facing right now. Some unofficial reports suggest that one or two of Jungkook's fellow countrymen were blatantly giving Jungkook special treatment, not in the form of protection, but in the form of veiled ostracism, such as being left alone during breaks, not being invited to talk in group conversations, even deliberately not being given important information that is internal. This is not bullying in physical form, but the psychological effect can be much sharper. Even more surprising was the emergence of a voice recording circulating in limited internal circles, which was strongly suspected to contain allusions to Jungkook from his fellow military colleagues. In the footage, a man's voice is heard saying, "Who does she think she is? King of Korea? This is a military, not a concert stage. You're nothing here." Although there has been no official clarification on the authenticity of this recording, the content adequately describes what atmosphere Jungkook may be facing behind the camp fence. This led many to wonder, why was the military silent? Why didn't HYBE give a statement? At the time of writing, there has been no official response from the agency or the South Korean Defense Ministry. However, public pressure is already growing. Online discussion forums were filled with thousands of comments urging Jungkook to be given special protection, with some even calling for his immediate transfer to another unit to ensure his mental and emotional safety. The Army, in its typical form of solidarity, has even organized a fundraiser to hire lawyers who could help pressure the authorities to open an investigation into the situation. It's not just about Jungkook, one fan wrote in a viral post. It's about all the people who once felt excluded just because they were different. If Jungkook can be intimidated, imagine how many others have gone through similar things and don't have millions of supporters behind them. But there is one other fact that makes this situation even more complicated. Some sources suggest that Jungkook's bullying may have been due not only to his status as an idol, but also to his personal choices that some of his fellow soldiers disliked. Sensitive issues such as lifestyle, political views, even proximity to family are also cited as triggers for dislike of certain people. For example, the news that Jungkook received special permission to attend certain family events some time ago made some soldiers feel unfairly treated. Although, according to those close to the agency, the permission was obtained procedurally and did not violate the rules that a source said. Jungkook isn't just facing pressure because he's a superstar. She faces pressure because she can't be normal. Even as he strove to be like the others, his presence was still too great to ignore. That's the problem. This statement slaps the public's awareness of the harsh reality that is often hidden behind the sparkling spotlight of the celebrity world. The popularity achieved over the years with hard work can actually be a burden in a place that should provide a sense of security and brotherhood. In a military context, where everyone is expected to be one body, one soul, the presence of an extraordinary figure like Jungkook can create invisible but very sharp cracks. Now the world is waiting. See if the military will speak up, waiting on whether HYB will give an official statement, waiting for whether Jungkook will again show his legendary smile that has been the booster of millions of people around the world. Or could this be the start of something bigger? A match? A confession? An explosion of emotions that has been suppressed behind a professional smile and idol-style politeness. What seemed calm from the outside turned out to be harboring a storm inside. After the first news about BTS's Jungkook's condition was subjected to pressure and intimidation from his military colleagues, now fact after fact began to surface. This story is no longer just about the fame that knocked someone out of the social circle in a military camp, but has spread to much larger issues: systemic inequality, structural jealousy, and a mentality of power that has been whispered only in silence. An anonymous post on a Korean online military forum became a big deal after claiming to be Jungkook's best friend. In the long post, it was written how since the beginning of Jungkook's arrival to the unit, there were a handful of people who felt uncomfortable and even felt indirectly threatened by his existence. They were not afraid of Jungkook personally, but of his shadow, afraid of his popularity, fear of influence that could suddenly make the entire camp system look flawed in the eyes of the public. Imagine if he didn't feel at home and told the media. "We could all be hit," he wrote. "So it's better to keep him quiet with the pressure." This is not a fictional story. This is a dark part of a culture that has been silenced for too long. Even before Jungkook was drafted into the army, there were many cases of bullying in the South Korean military environment that led to extreme measures, including several suicides.